Hey, what is up everyone? Coach Ash is here bringing you another video. Today we're going to be doing a VOD review of a ranked King of the Hill game. Yep, that's that's what we're doing. All right, so if you've been part of this channel for a while, you'll know that I've actually never done a King of the Hill VOD review. So I'm kind of excited. I mean, I play mostly only King of the Hill myself, now free for all too, but I've never really done a King of the Hill VOD review. I've spectated us doing a King of the Hill scrim for fun, but I've never actually done a full VOD review of a King of the Hill match. So I was DM'd by @WynterDeLong, and it was simply just a link to this YouTube video that's Gears 5 ranked King of the Hill. So I haven't watched it. I haven't gone over it yet. I've loaded up to 1 minute and 24 seconds. And we're gonna watch a King of the Hill game and hopefully teach you guys how to be better King of the Hill players, how to be more effective, how to win more King of the Hill games. So based off the mistakes of our next victim here in this VOD review series. So stay tuned, enjoy the video, kick back, relax, be ready to take notes, and without further ado, let's watch a King of the Hill. All right, first thing, I don't know how you recorded this video, but we need to learn what 1920 by 1080 is, or some sort of not 4:3 looking aspect ratio. I'm going to leave the volume kind of low on this because I don't think there's going to be anything other than kind of crappy game audio based on the quality of the video. And again, this is highest quality video we can get. So the first thing I'm noticing is you went straight for the hill. You didn't play for any of the power weapons. That's kind of a no-no. You really want to play for the power weapons off the rip, especially a boom shot. Because if you get that boom shot and you win that fight, it's going to make it easier for you to get that hill. So realistically, you didn't get your team any points. You weren't able to cap the hill. Your team was down in numbers at all the fights because you were standing in the hill, not doing anything. And you lost the power weapons and you lost the hill. So now you're down 9 points. Decent kind of back and forth wall bounce there. It wasn't sporadic at all. There wasn't any kind of changing of the pace. You just kind of did like long bounces side to side, so that it made them kind of slow and predictable. So realistically, like the bounce wasn't, you were moving, sure, so you were being a little bit harder to hit, but the bounce wasn't really doing as much as you would hope it would. Looks to me like you need to lower your sensitivities a little bit. Your Lancer's kind of swinging all over the place. When you pulled back and reloaded, your screen like went up. I'm not sure if you're on mouse and keyboard or not. I think you were on. Real quick, let's go back and check. Let's see how far back. Maybe a little bit more back. Yeah, you're on console, so you don't have an excuse. All right, down 21-3. Don't bother planting grenades in the center of the hill. The reason you don't plant a grenade in the center of the hill is because every time these fights happen for the hills, everybody's just chucking their grenades at the hill. An enemy team's grenade is actually going to make your planted grenade blow up, and it could potentially stun you or your teammates. So don't bother planting the grenade in the hill. It really doesn't do you a lot of good. If you're going to plant a grenade, plant it somewhere kind of on their side, so when they go to push you, they get stunned or caught off guard, or just hold on to it and throw it when they're going to make their push. I'm noticing you're spawning and kind of throwing your life away into the hill over and over again. So maybe take your time a little bit more. Lancer, now's a good time to rotate. Even before your last death, honestly, you probably could have rotated to the next hill. You weren't really going to be able to do much on that one. You might as well just get set up on the next one and get control of it. A nice one shot there. You timed your shot pretty well. So 3 solid shots right there. That was good. Those shotgun shots were clean. You're aiming a little bit high, and it's going to cause you to have a tendency to miss or not get chunks more often than not. You really want to be aiming to the core of the body to get those solid chunk kills. And you're, because of, well, again, I'm going to blame it on your sensitivity. You're aiming a little bit high. Right there, you aimed towards center mass. That was a good shot. All right, let's see what you decide to do. You're running back to this side. The other team has the power weapon respawns again. Looks like you got stuck there a little bit. I'm going to guess you're a little bit newer because your movement's feeling a little bit stiff, or maybe this is the first game of the day. We'll kind of keep judging as it moves on. Like right there, kind of getting stuck on the corner and misrolling off the corner and things like that. That tells me somebody's either a new player, they don't have as much experience on the game, or they're just, it's one of those first game of the days and shit just doesn't feel right. All right, standing in shock a little bit there. That was kind of a risky play. You got the kill. Yeah, you got stuck on the wall there. I wonder if you're lagging. I keep seeing the connection thing pop up in the bottom, so maybe that's the issue. Maybe you're lagging a little bit. I'd like to see you hit the back button a little bit more. You are hitting the LB button, but just checking the score every once in a while might give you a good idea of what kind of people are who's doing well on your team, who's doing well on the other team. Good Lancer. Again, right there, you're swinging your Lancer a lot, kind of back and forth. You're swinging to adjust your aim, and then you're over aiming, so you're coming swinging back to compensate for it. That was bad terrain awareness. I heard the train even while I was talking, so you probably should have heard the train there. Again, anything I say in any of these videos is not meant to roast you or make fun of you, and please don't make fun of people in the comments. This is a place of learning. This is a place of improvement. These guys who are sending me their VODs of their scrims or even this King of the Hill match, they're doing it in order to get better at the game. So I applaud them, and nothing I say is meant to be insulting. It's meant to help you get better, and I'm nitpicking. So I'm trying to balance out with good and bad, but my job is to watch the best players in the game. So it's, that's where my perspective is coming from. So keep that in mind, guys. In the comments, so far, you guys have done a really good job of not roasting people or picking on misplays too much. Please continue to do that. Please continue to make this channel a supportive and educational atmosphere. I know how people on the internet are, so I know I'm kind of, it's kind of hopeless in that regard. Nice little pop shots right there. That was clean. Not sure where you're going right now. You did get a flash, though. I haven't seen you use your regular flash other than to stun it. But now you should be rotating the hill to the next hill. Good God, how did you throw that one? Hold on. What the hell was that? All right, I don't know what you just did. That looked like if you're on PC, I would have said you're hacking. I don't know what that was. That was definitely an interesting way to throw the flash. You backed up into the train again, man. You might want to adjust your volume, or maybe you don't use a headset. I suggest using a headset to be able to hear those things a little bit better. But when it starts getting down to like 15 seconds left on the hill, and you've held it for a majority of it, that's kind of the time where you want to start rotating to the next hill, start getting set up, getting those initial kills, and getting control of that area, because the 15 seconds of extra points, even if they break the hill, by the time they cap it, they might get 8 seconds of time, 8 points at most, and you can already be set up on the next hill and start capitalizing on that advantage and making them push to you rather than you having to push into them. So keep that in mind. Start rotating off around 15 to 10 seconds. If you're with an organized team, it could be even a little bit earlier, but if you're playing solo, 15 to 10 seconds is probably a safe bet. Especially when it was pretty obvious they're not really making any kind of pushes, aggressive pushes. Good round, not too bad. You started off a little bit slow, but keep in mind the flash grenades. Try to sharpen up the movement a little bit. Aim center mass when you're shotgunning, and let's maybe take a look at your sensitivities a little bit. I plan on putting out a video at some point, kind of helping people readdress their situations in terms of what settings and sensitivities they're playing on. Everybody asks what the pros are doing. Don't just copy what the pros are doing. That won't do you any good. Do what works for you and what feels comfortable for you. Easy ways to test it: go into a custom game, play against the bot, shoot around, get used to it, and see if it actually feels comfortable or if it's just you're forcing it. You know what I mean? All right, right there, I saw the guy on your screen shooting at you through the fence. You probably should have been able to see him. It's also kind of like an obvious spot where somebody's going to go to. I like that you're pressing LB a lot. It's a really good idea to press LB a lot, especially when you're playing solo, get a sense of where your teammates are going, where they're playing. You did that thing with the stun again, man. I don't know what you're doing there, but it's very odd, and I don't get it. Right there, I probably would have up A'd that guy. So when you slid into that cover, then hold up and press the A button and shoot at the same time, and you probably would have gotten that chunk because he was right there on that corner. You might have been able to go for a back A, but that little pop shot, you just aimed out a little bit too wide left. It's all good though. Yeah, I don't know why you're waiting for this sniper respawn. I believe because it's faded out. Doesn't that mean that it's still being in use? If I'm correct about King of the Hill, if there's no number underneath it, I'm pretty sure that means that it's still like being held and in use by somebody. Because in King of the Hill, the weapons respawn. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but I'm pretty sure that means that the weapon is not gone yet. Oh, you've got the glitch with the lights, right? Oh no, it's actually both trains. So in King of the Hill, the weapons spawn after use rather than after pickup, which is something I actually don't like. It makes it a lot harder to time and keep track of weapons. Luckily, the game does it for you. So this is good. You're starting to play for the next hill. You started rotating early. I like that. And see how easy it is. You got a free setup on the hill. We've already talked about planting the grenades. And see, here's the issue with it. That dude threw a stun, and it blew up your stun grenade, and then you got stunned from your own stun. So that makes it really ineffective and kind of like you're playing against yourself. You're hurting yourself. So don't worry about planting stuns on the hills. I'm glad we got to see like a visual example of that. Ooh, your teammate went off right there. I got 3 kills. All right, let's see where you go. You're putting your body directly on the hill. I would have probably played up a little bit further, maybe up on this wall right here, so at the bottom of the stairs, or even position myself to maybe watch the middle of the map or something else. Since you don't really have a number call out from your teammates, at least I don't think you're playing with them like in comms or anything. I could be wrong. I would have liked to see that. So if you're taking the King of the Hill seriously, pushing out this far is kind of a risk. The good news is you have your teammates with you, but you're leaving your hill kind of vulnerable. So if anybody spawned back near that side of the map, because it's possible in Gears, the spawns aren't really proximity based. They're kind of more random. So you could have spawned, or the other team could have spawned back near the hill, and then they would have been close to the hill and able to break it, and you would have been on the wrong side of the map. So keep that in mind. That death right there was only because you played it kind of weird. If you would have just committed to playing out wide, then you probably would have been able to get that kill. But he was hiding a little bit, so, you know, that catches people off guard. In that over cover fight, you aimed too high. That's why that didn't work. You barely even hurt him. You barely even hit him. It's almost better in those fatter covers. If you're playing like one of those over the cover fights, try to be the second person who shoots rather than being the first person, the one who initiates. Because if you're that second person who shoots, there's like a frame of the animation after the other person pop shots that their character looks like it's going back into cover. And that's when you can do your pop shot and chunk that animation, basically. So you're not actually chunking them, you're chunking the animation, but the kill still applies. And it works out a lot in your favor when you're on those fatter covers. If you're on a skinnier cover, it doesn't work as well, and you might want to be the first one to take a shot. You just have to aim a little bit lower than you would expect. You got 4 solid kills there, so that's good. You secured the hill. I'd like to see you pull out your Lancer a little bit more. So in situations like this where you know the team's got to push to you, like this guy, you wasted a couple seconds there not really Lancering. You could have gotten that kill earlier, moved on to the next person, so on and so forth. You got the train coming. You didn't move out of the way of it. Again, it's letting me think that you might have your audio a little bit too low, or you don't play with headphones. Maybe you play like on a living room TV or something like that. Their guy's not moving. That's a free kill for you. Oh, your teammate stole it. Gotta hate that, right? All right, new hill. You should use your stun grenade here. You just spawned, so I know you have it. You haven't used it yet. There we go. Took you a long time to pull it out and make a play with it. You also threw it kind of in a bad spot. You know they're going to be sitting more into that right corner, and that corner is too deep for you to throw it where you threw it and get stuns like effectively. So maybe throw it a little bit further to the right, switch to the other wall, throw it in, something like that, so you get a better stun and you can make that push more effectively. This should be a free kill. You swung your shot a little bit there. I do the same thing. Those were good shots. Those 3 shots right there, those were like solid shots. You hit all of those pretty well. It was a little bit range, which is why it took it. It was a little bit range, which is why it took 3 shots to down them. Even though it looked like you were getting a high like hit count for the pellets on the little white dots, the hit markers, but still good shots. So in situations like this, you don't actually have to sit in the hill. It's once it's capped, it's capped. So you can kind of move out a little bit and start to like scout out where the other team is coming from. Maybe shoot your Lancer at them some, so it makes it harder for them to push into you, and it makes it more difficult. You also could be rotating off the hill probably 10 to 15 seconds ago, since you've captured so much of its time, and it's going to be better for you to be on that next hill than it is for you to be sitting here wasting your stun grenade and then not being ready for this next hill because the other team's already there. That was pretty obvious. You know, he had already jumped over. He knew you were there. It was a risky jump for you. You could have L-triggered over the wall, probably killed him, or at least like hurt him really bad and then downed him with a second shot. So I'd have liked to see you do that rather than hop over. You saw the lights, man. Gotta pay. You've died to the train 5 times, 4 or 5 times. You gotta pay attention. Even if you don't have the audio, you have no more excuses. There's lights on the map, man. Gotta pay attention to the lights. Looks like your team's got the hill. But this is where you need to have the Lancer out. That stun hit the pillar, so it wasn't a good stun. You ran in with a shotgun instead of Lancering. So you already had a bunch of teammates in there in the fight. You didn't really need to also put yourself in the fight. You could have been Lancering, especially in this game mode where you have the aim assist that's going to help you out and make that Lancer really strong and effective. So I would like to see you Lancer a little bit more. So the main things I would look at for you are not tagging your stun grenades in the hill. It's kind of a waste. We saw an example of it. Readjust your sensitivities, maybe lower them a little bit because you're swinging your shots a lot and it's causing you to miss more than I think you even realize you are. Take a look at rotating to hills a little bit earlier. You know, look at where your teammates are. If the other team's pushing you actively, then maybe stay and defend. But if they're not really actively pushing you, start to rotate out and around and try to get yourself to the next hill, or at least in a better position to where you're not letting the enemy team set up on that next and new hill for free. Because if they get that set up and they hold the first push that you guys make, that's going to be like 20 points of free points that they're getting just because you guys decided to hold on to 5 seconds of scrap time. So keep that in mind. Try to pay attention to the train, man. You got to pay attention to the environment and the things going on around you. You can't tunnel too much on just what's in front of you, especially in gears, because you can get flanked and you can have environmental effects affecting you. So pay attention to the train lights and the train horn. Maybe look at what your audio situation is. That might help you out and might help you hear people coming behind you and you know, things like the train on Asylum. But overall, not too bad. Look at the center mass shots for your shotgun. You might find more effective in there. You had a few times where you're doing it well, and then sometimes you're aiming too high, which again, I'm going to attest to the sensitivities. So overall, not too bad, man. Hopefully you learned something from this. I appreciate you for sending the video. And anybody else, hopefully you learned something from this as well and are able to go out and win more King of the Hill matches, at least on Asylum. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to send me a VOD, please do so. The link to the tweet will be down in the description of the video. All you have to do is just DM me a Twitch highlight of your of a map that you played, or a YouTube link like this guy did, and I will do a VOD review. I'm doing them for free for all of January, so make sure you do that. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video.